We don't have a Catholic dating problem. We have a Catholic social problem. And the thing is, the reason you're not finding, or many of us aren't finding, a good prospect, good potential people to date that share our faith, that share our values, to start good Catholic and or Christian families, is not because of the dating culture. Even though that's part of it, the problem is that our social lives suck. Modern world's social life sucks. It's not just us Christian or Catholic people that have a problem. It's anyone beyond college is now stuck in the system that tries to isolate everyone unintentionally, but through the digital world. We are now kind of trapped in these social media platforms where everyone's just doom scrolling and swiping, trying to meet their significant others one swipe at a time. And so we're really not building not only friendships, but community and valuable social experiences. And so we are left to fend for ourselves. And our parish is not helping much. We just go in and out for Sunday Mass and barely say hi to anyone. Don't really know anyone, or everyone who we do know is either married and busy having kids. And so it's not like we can really plan much with our current interests and or availability. So how do we address all this? And so the video we were going to make today was about how Society of the 12, our Catholic social club, is doing this. But I don't want to do it I don't want to sell it. I don't want, if whoever doesn't want to join, I want to help them still build this on their own without me or without the people that are already in our club. I think if people join our club, like, we'll team up and we'll help everyone in all these different cities start something kind of with the guidelines and the trial and error things that we've already tried. And we'll have fun getting to know people in other cities. But let me make a video, or let me record this in a way where you could do it on your own. And hopefully you do try. And maybe if it works, you invite us to some sort of fun activity and we'll collaborate together. So how to start your own Catholic social club. So the first question is, what are we trying to do here? We're trying to build a place or an environment or a group that gets together for fun social activities, to make new friends, to bring in especially single Catholics, but not just for single Catholics. The word single Catholic is actually, I don't like it, because many of us are talking to people or seeing someone or dating or in a relationship. So how single is single, and we need friends too. And we don't know if it's going to work out with this person or not. And also, like, we want fellow Catholics to discern our relationship with, that can look out for the red flags that we might not be seeing. So we need a community of people who share our values, because then we have all sorts of crazy friends, I'm sure, that enable some of our bad patterns. And it's hard to ask them to enable it, to judge based on our own values and faith system when they don't necessarily have that. So we do need people that share our faith to ride with us in this process of dating and of getting engaged. But then the other thing is, many of us will get married. And it's not like, okay, now I'm married and all my single friends are gone. No. We need to be building the friendships, many of whom will hopefully start getting married at the same time as we do, so that we can move on to the next stage of life together. But many won't. And so there's still going to be our social club, our group of friends, the people we love, the people we've built an invested friendship into. And so we want to stay friends. That's why this is not a club for singles. And I know there's great clubs out there that are really focused on singles, but this is a Catholic social club for people that are married, people who have kids, and especially for people who are still not married yet and discerning relationships, whether they've matched with someone already on one of their efforts, or whether they're still on zero, which is unfortunately the case for many of us. That being said, how do we do this and where do we start? Okay, so if I were to start from zero, I did start from zero last year, by the way. And my life is interesting in a way where I've moved so much, not just geographically, but I've moved in pursuits and dreams and careers and the mosquito that is still flying around me. And so my self-inflicted problem is that I've had to start from zero several times. Not from zero. I have incredible friendships that have been part of really important parts of my life that unfortunately just don't live in my city. Actually, I take that back. A couple of them just moved back. But for a long period of time, like I kept making new friends, building incredible friendships, and then I moved on to a new city. Or in the best case scenario, some of them just got married and had kids and are in the city, but not really available for the things that I hope to have from a friend. And so I've had to start from zero. So how do you start from close to zero? Especially if you're trying to be intentional now about building a really cool group of friends and of potential prospects for dating, not just for you, but for them, in your own parish and in your own city. So where do we start? This is where I started. First, I committed, and I made this as a New Year resolution. I committed to going to everything I could in a way that helped me get more involved with my church, with the church in general. And so I remember this was like a New Year's resolution. And so I was there sitting, researching, trying to figure out what was available. The easiest part, is actually finding newsletters. These dioceses and my parish apparently had newsletters. And well, first step is just giving them my email, which I hate. That way, I don't like to be spammed. And so I've always kind of like fended off all sorts of email subscriptions. But hey, this was keeping my word. I said I would, and this is as simple a step as that, was just signing up for their emails, for their newsletters. And I guess every week they send out all sorts of announcements, including really fun events, which was the whole thing with this resolution. It was about finding ways to get involved. And the promise was that I would go to everything that I could, everything I would say yes. So if I was invited or if I found out there was going to be a sort of event, activity, program, retreat, I actually ended up signing up for a couple of retreats really quickly. And you had to say yes. And you never know which one might fit your personality style, your age range, your situation or stage of life. For now, just go. Say yes and go. And start getting involved in your community. You're going to start meeting really cool people that you might not have anything in common with, but you're going to start mapping out the local church environment. And that's kind of the point. It's about understanding what's out there. And hopefully if we have faith and if God is guiding this process, if we're praying about it, if we're discerning, then there's also going to be a component of spiritual guidance that will kind of find us. So it's not like we have to do everything on our own, but assume that it's up to you in great part and make sure you're putting in the effort. So go to every event, sign up to everything, follow your parish on social media, figure out if they have social media. Sometimes they don't, sometimes they do. There's other local Catholic organizations and social media accounts that have already done this for you. So if you find those, follow them, and they'll start posting stories and all sorts of invitations to things that might speed up your process. So that's where I would start. If you're in Society of the 12, by the way, if you're part of our members and you're starting or you're being a founder right now in your own city, so you're trying to recruit people and launch programs, you have to do this too. You have to get more involved in your local parish. In order to find the cool people, when I say cool, I also mean people that are not married yet, probably at first. Well, we have to get involved. We have to know who's out there, who's already involved, and we have to start making friends, which is the second step. So when you start going to all these places, choose one of these programs or ministries to get involved with, to be a part of. And yes, just showing up is a great way to get involved. If you show up, like honestly, if you're consistent in showing up, that's so valuable for the leaders of these ministries, because sometimes it's such a pain in the butt for them to do all the effort, all the planning as volunteers to have a very inconsistent attendance. So sometimes no one shows up, and that sucks for them. It really kills their motivation. And so if you're the person that's reliable, that is always showing up as much as possible, and I know you're busy and everyone is busy and everyone's using the same excuse. So what's going to make you different? Like, be reliable and showing up for one of the ministries, not all of them, just one of them. Choose the one that you think is more, that needs you more, let's say, where your actual talents and personality type and age and situation of life probably contributes to more with your presence. And so, yes, start showing up, but not just showing up, start getting involved, start helping. Ask whoever the leader is or your local priest or pastor, ask him, how can I help? There might be no need to help, but you'll be surprised. Like, maybe they just need someone to help clean up afterwards, or who knows? Just ask how you can help and be consistent. And this might be the biggest step in sparking a revolution socially in your city and your parish. So once you're there, now it's time for the next step. So I would say, once you've been showing up and people know who you are and your character has displayed the qualities that you hope to convey through that are part of your values, you'll gain their trust. And so now you can host something, like, as soon as possible, host something yourself, whether a cocktail party, a dinner. It doesn't have to be at your house if you don't have the right place. If you have a good house for hosting, this is a game changer. But if not, you can always find a venue where you can invite people in. If you can afford it, of course, invest in it more than others. But people will also pay. Like, people will chip in for their part. So you don't necessarily have to fund the whole thing. But if some of you guys have money, don't be cheap. Like, I don't know. I don't understand why some of us are so cheap. Like, what do you want your money for? Like, there's no more valuable, I truly believe this, there's nothing more valuable than spending your excess resources in building community for your church. Like, if you're in your 30s or 40s and you're stressed about retirement and you're not even married yet, like, you are wrong, sir. You are wrong. Please invest in your parish community life. And of course, if you're barely making ends meet, this is not who I'm referring to. I'm referring to all the rest of you who make a good amount of money. Spend, invest, be generous with your extra resources, and you will be set apart. And you will all of a sudden gain extra trust from people in your ministry. They will love you for it. Not because you're buying them, but because your generosity will show. Generosity is so rare. It doesn't have to be financial generosity. Like, honestly, just your energy and your time, giving it, is a sort of generosity. I hope that's being understood. We're focusing on generosity, not on spending. But anyways, host something. And in this process, as we're talking about all this, one of the key steps is to make a good friend. Like, find someone cool from within the people that were invited to the activity you organize and or the ministry you're involved in. Find someone you could be a friend with and team up with and be a wingman to or wingwoman to. And one of the mistakes I see when people try this, because of course we all understand, I think, instinctively the value of actually making a friend. It's not about just making community, by the way, which is a big mistake. I see so many Catholics show up just to be part of the community, but I don't see them becoming best friends with anyone. And that's a mistake. You have to choose who your inner tribe will be. This is essential to longevity. This is essential. Building close friendships. Like, a best friend is just one step shy of marriage. I really believe that. And very few people have, especially men, have close best friends, especially when they get married. Like, they lose the ones they might have had just for luck from school or from growing up. So make a best friend or two. And they don't have to be exactly like you or your same personality type. The cooler they are, the better. But I will say this. I've also noticed like some people instinctively know, okay, making a friend will really be helpful for this process. But then they go for someone, it's exactly like dating. They go for someone that will likely not want to be their friend in return or has very little in common with them. And so again, maybe this is the summary of what I've observed most of our issues is with dating. It's not that there's not good prospects out there, it's that we're all shooting for people outside of our league. And before you come at me, when I say out of our league, I don't mean they're more valuable than us. I don't mean we're not good enough for them. I mean, they're just too different from us. Like, same thing with friends, but with dating, it's incredible. I see so many people who are attracted to or like, and I'm not dismissing my own faults here, but who are pursuing only people who have such a different life from them. Either they're just from a completely different socioeconomic background, from a completely different culture. They grew up in completely different situations, or they are just like from a different industry. Like I'm trying to find the right words. Something I think you're all already thinking. Like we all keep shooting for people outside of our possibilities. And okay, honestly, I'll take it back a little bit. Good. If you think, let's say someone is in your league, which means they're in your same church, same culture, same background, and okay, now we're talking like within our league, or at least same sport, let's say. They're in the same sport, and I'm talking dating here, and friendship too. And you still realize growing up when you're in your teens or when you're in like early 20s, applies especially for men, but it could go both ways. I'll be very careful in how I say it for women, but for men, if you realize, let's say all these ladies are not interested in you, they're not attracted to you, even though in theory, like it would make sense, but they're just not attracted to you. Well, you have two options. It's either the world giving you a signal that you are trying to bat outside of your range, or more my way of thinking is, all right, time to step it up. Are you willing to invest the next 5, 10, 15 years of your life to build yourself up to the point where you would be a good catch for them? And you have both directions. You can either become realistic and realize so many people, good, valuable people, would already love to meet someone like you, and they're there and you're just not attracted to them. Would you be willing to give them a chance? Yes or no? If your answer is definitely no, and I understand, then okay, fine. You're going to be able, I guess it's a question, are you going to be able to sacrifice the things you have to sacrifice for the medium and long-term ability to be attractive to those people? This is a long tangent to say something, though. Not about dating, but about friendship. The same thing happens in friendship. But many people who I've seen trying to make friends in these church-related events or all sorts of communities feel even rejected by people socially in trying to make friends. They realize there's no interest in return because they're trying to cultivate friendships, fair enough, with people they think are cool, but that are just not compatible with them. And so why would the other person think you're cool if you're just, again, looking for friendships outside of your league? And so look for people who would love to have a friend like you. There's so many of the people in this community, in these communities, are looking for a friend as well, and they would love having a friend like you. So figure out which one you actually would bring value to their lives. It's the whole concept of the handkerchief in a way where it's the overflow. Are you looking for friendships out of thirst, trying to see who's going to improve your life because they're going to help you level up? Or are you trying to help build love and friendship with people who also would enjoy a friend like you already, where you're at already? You might even have to pull them up a little bit, but more likely than not, probably at the same level of or same stage of life as you. And so be good at making that one or two friends. And this is now your core. This is now your core group of people. And man, if you guys make a good friend, a good best friend, this is now your wingman. And like one of the things that I instinctively think of, or that would be very helpful to determine whether you're actually being a good friend or not, is, are you being a good wingman? Are you, or wingwoman? Like, are you thinking like, how can I improve this person's experience today at this activity, at this event? Are you introducing them to people that you think would be fun for them, not just for you? Are you inviting them to places that you think they would enjoy a good outing or event? And so this is about being a good wingman. This is about thinking of others, not just ourselves, and of investing. Like friendships and wingmen and core groups take time. They take time to invest over, at least for me, I think maybe even a year, to actually feel like someone is now part of my or has penetrated my barrier, my defense mechanisms. It honestly takes a year of consistency, of showing up when I don't want to show up, of being there for them when I don't want to be there for them, because I'm being an introvert, because I'm tired, because I have other stuff to do, because it's a drain sometimes, because that's what new friendships sometimes feel like, especially for men. But you have to keep showing up. You have to be generous with your time and energy, and especially in friendships. And so once you have this core group of friends, now you're in a ministry. Now you've gained their trust. Now you've built actual friendships, and there's love and there's fun experiences happening. Well, I think these are the variables that start making this happen. And now it's time to move on to the next thing. You've already hosted. By the way, hosting, if you can start doing it every now and then, not just once, but maybe quarterly or at least once or twice a year, then that's one of the greatest and most simple ways of building this tribe and this community. You will gain so many people's trust and affection and numbers if you host them at your house or at a place that you coordinate. And if you make it a really fun, memorable experience, like don't just invite them for board games. Please, Catholics, stop with the board games. Fine, you guys can do board games, but if you whatever you're gonna do it in a memorable way that no one's done before. Like why, if you're already gonna plan something, if you're already gonna cook, if you're already going to, I don't know, buy food or get it catered or play games of some sort, do it in a way where they will remember it for the entire year. So they'll look forward to it again next year. And sometimes it just takes 10 minutes of Google to figure out how to make a mediocre, average event into an extraordinary, memorable one. Don't be lazy. Plan. Enjoy planning. Enjoy hosting. And if you are not good at this, then make sure you make at least one friend who loves doing this, and partner up, team up. That's what this is about. That's why it's a club. It's not just your own social life, because this will add value to not just your life, but to everyone in your community. So these are the main steps. But then now the final step in making a club, I would say, is find a more regular ministry to lead yourself. Be the founder of it. And what does this mean? For us, for example, I'll give you some examples. We started, this is not even me, it was my wingman. He said, hey, let's start meeting up on Sundays to play soccer. And everyone showed up. It was incredible how fun this became. A Sunday afternoon day of playing soccer. People who had never played soccer, some of them were good, some of them weren't. It was co-ed, men, women. It was older people, younger people, some people with families, some people with kids started showing up, and the kids played with us. And it became an incredible experience. We all started getting in shape. We saw the sunset together. We found a beautiful field to play. Wait, so this was a ministry. Some of the ladies were not a fan, and they started a Bible study, which started with only a couple people, and they started getting together once a week for Bible study. And this is a way to bring in new people. And I see the mosquito now. Darn it. All right, it's probably eating me alive by this point, but start a ministry, Bible study, a sports pickup, casual afternoon games on Sundays, volleyball league, hike. One of the guys started a hike every 2 weeks. It wasn't even weekly. It was every 2 weeks. And he'll go on it by himself if no one shows up. He's always there. And it's incredible how this becomes a thing to do in the mind of all the community, everyone in the community that you're building. And the next step, I think I probably skipped a step, but the next step, and probably the key to all of this, is start a chat, a communication system. I've seen it on Discord. I've seen it on GroupMe, which is where the young adults do it the most now, and a WhatsApp, which is my preferred because I'm a little more international. But whatever you do, start a chat, and this chat will slowly start growing. Whoever comes to your activity or your party, add them to the WhatsApp chat for that event if they want to. Or you know what? You know what is better? Let them join themselves. Send them the join link. Don't add them yourselves. Ask them if they want to join. And people can feel free to jump in and out if they're out of town, if they're not living there anymore, if they only came once. Like, they'll leave. That's fine. But now you have everyone in this chat. By the way, this chat does not work by itself. You cannot plan an activity or an event. Let's say you have 150 people in one of these chats because you've grown it over a couple of months. And we have this kind of chat here. We have a couple of these. But if you just say something in that chat and there hasn't been anything going on, everyone's busy, everyone has got their own friends. If you just say, hey, we're doing a hike this weekend, maybe 2 or 3 people might show up, but that's the wrong way to do it. By the time you announce something on that chat, you already have had talked with your core group of friends, or with the people that are the leaders, even people that are not your best friends, but they lead ministries. They're the people that others follow. And that's the thing. This is actually a key. So you have to ask yourself, are you the person, or are you and your wingman or wingwoman the people that others follow, or is it someone else? Because you could be the organizer, you could be the logistics person, the one that makes the magic happen behind the scenes. But often there's someone with a lot of charisma in these groups that everyone wants to be friends with, that people follow. And they might not be your best friend, but if they come, other people will come. So why not reach out to a couple of those first to see if they would come? And this would just make your life so much better. So it's a collaborative relationship of ministry. And it's not necessarily going to be that they're going to become your best friends. Maybe they might, if you're the person hosting them. Like, they'll really value you and be grateful for what you're doing. But it's still a community. It's not a friendship. And again, I come back to that. Not all communities become friendships, but we need more than community. We need friendships as well. Cultivate both. And these leaders, these charismatic people will help you fill events up. So by the time you post on whatever communication channel you have, make sure a couple of them are already on board, and this will make the event a lot more successful. But don't always make a big event. Sometimes you just want to hang out with a couple people, 3, 4 people, and that is enough. Sometimes that's great, and make sure you keep doing that. So this is it. This is the formula for how to start a sort of Catholic social club. People from other parishes are going to start finding out about it through word of mouth. If you start posting on social media, especially if you are linked with what we said was that social media account locally that posts about Catholic things, and they start posting about your events, send them photos, invite them, and other people will start finding you as well. And they'll start asking and trying to join your chat and asking about your next events. And so that's why having certain consistency with the type of events you do will allow you to invite all these interested parties to come meet you and your friends. And that's how things grow. That's how social lives start changing in our parish, in our diocese. Now, that is how we did it here. But beyond that, we've really tried to go a step further. With Society of the 12, okay, so we started with this viral video that basically said this. Imagine if every parish had a singles mass, a weekly singles mass, and a happy hour afterwards. And you could travel from one parish to another. So every weekend, you could, in theory, go to the other parish's happy hour and get to know all the singles in that parish. It would be so much fun because you'd be able to not just go around your diocese, but to other cities and plan road trips and trips with your friends around this, building a cool social life and social network with Catholics around the US or your state at least, but at least your diocese. And so this would be incredible for our social lives. That's how all of this started. The problem is that many of our churches don't have any place for us to meet, to interact, to engage with other single people or anyone in general, anyone in our age range. And people just walk in to Mass and bolt out, sometimes even right after the communion. Like they won't even wait for the blessing. Some of them wait for the blessing and then they leave. Some of them wait for the priest to walk out and then they leave. And some of them wait for the music to be over and then they leave. And so everyone is just kind of bolting out is what I'm like worried about. And there are very few parishes that host consistent spaces for people to even meet each other. And single people, even less. And now a couple parishes are doing it. We've seen some out in New York who have gone viral. I've been to Old St. Pat's Cathedral or Basilica or church or whatever it's called, not the cathedral, the Old St. Pat's. And their happy hour on Sunday nights is so much fun. And it's all sorts of young and youngish people that meet up for a drink, for wine, for dessert, and they stay to talk. It would be unbelievable if every parish did that. But most don't, unfortunately. And so that's how much of Society of the 12 started. Well, what could we do to do that in our parish? But not just our parish, because unfortunately, some of us live in neighborhoods or we go to parishes because of our family or our friends or whatnot that might not have very many single people, or they might already all be our friends. And so we do need a sort of system that would allow us to go beyond into the rest of the diocese. And that's how the second viral video came about. So the second video said something, or what was the hook? It was something like, imagine if every diocese had one singles mass per semester or yearly, and singles from every parish would be able to get together for this mass and get to know each other. But so for this to work, you would have to have a sort of happy hour afterwards, but instead of a happy hour, and this is very, very important, you would have all sorts of booths with people with social clubs. So let's say you already have your own social club. Then you set up a booth in this yearly mass led by the bishop. And now you tell people what you do, how they can sign up, how they can join your WhatsApp group. I even at that time thought, well, why not do a sort of fraternity and sorority system? Let's say we had a national or international system of Catholic fraternities and sororities. And I thought we should have at least 12 because there's so many types of personalities. Like we can all be part of a community, but we can't all be friends. And that's perfectly fine. That's why the Greek system works so well, because you kind of navigate it towards the people who you could build more intimate friendship with, who you feel more aligned in culture, in personality, in values. And so same thing would happen in our church. And so you would start rushing, you would do a whole rush process to try to join one of these fraternities or sororities. And then all of a sudden you are now building brotherhood and sisterhood. But there would be a sort of Greek life, Roman life, may I say, where all these tribes would plan things together, or among them, all sorts of dinners and galas and fundraisers and charity events, and it would be a vibrant social life. That's how this idea of Society of the 12 started. And so it was an idea of bringing in singles, and not just singles, but all sorts of people who are looking for friends into tribes that allow for deeper, intimate friendships, and then organizing social events around that and building a cool social life for Catholics. And many of our Christian friends would be invited, of course, non-Catholic Christians, of course. But this is how the idea started. And I mean, we're building it. So, which is a way of saying, if you are going to build a club, you're going to find great people, and it's going to be a sort of people because of your personality type or your charisma. And if many of us are doing it, it's going to be fun to get together sometimes, even though we wouldn't all necessarily be best friends. But some of us might be interested in dating others and or planning things that need more people and or introducing you to people that we know who would probably be a better fit in your organization or in your tribe than mine. And so that's why teaming up throughout all these different parishes and throughout maybe even a national or regional system would make sense for us. And so that's what we're building now with Society of the 12. But then we had another viral video, and this one said something along the lines of, imagine if instead of swiping on a dating app to match with someone, you would be matched with a group of 12 Catholic men and women to go on a group date with. And so you go on a date to meet people who you could be friends with and who you could likely be attracted to. And so this would be curated by the app or by a sort of ministry or program or matchmaker. And you wouldn't know who would be the best match for you, but you would be there very, very intrigued to get to know everyone. Maybe you make a best friend, not necessarily someone you date, but maybe a couple of the people in there are also very suitable matches for you. You're all, after all, sharing some sort of value system already. And so why not organize, instead of individual introductions for people, especially swiping, organize events where we introduce 12 Catholics, maybe 6 men, 6 women, or maybe 12 men and 12 women in a sort of dinner. So this is how the idea of dinners for 12 started, which is one of the main activities that we do at Society of the 12. So we're called Society of the 12 because we will have 12 tribes based on age and personality distribution. Like we will have 12 tribes, but also because we do dinners for 12, we are going to be introducing people from different tribes to each other in these more intimate, well-curated, themed parties or dinners to each other in a way where we could maybe cause some beautiful Catholic marriages. But worst case scenario, probably cause some incredible friendships and people to walk towards sainthood and holiness with. So that's what we're doing. We have a bunch of other stuff we do. We do run clubs. We do some other sports. We do formation circles. We have WhatsApp groups where we get to meet people and talk about weekly social challenges that we all navigate together. We're planning things to host, maybe even destination retreats, pilgrimages where we can meet people from the other cities. And so these are just ideas. I hope this helps. This is what we're doing at Society of the 12, but these are many things that you guys could do to change the direction of your social life. So it's more than just finding a significant other for marriage, for pursuing your vocation. It's about helping others do that as well. And so I think when we stop thinking about just us and the things we want and our own ministry and start thinking about how we can help others achieve this as well, I predict that you'll probably be more likely to find it for you as well. But it stops being a problem and it starts being a purpose, which I think is the reason why sometimes God doesn't give us the things that are deeper in our heart, not because he doesn't love us, because he's trying to tell us something that he wants us to do for everyone else feeling the same thing. Well, this is the episode for this week. I hope this is valuable. Good night.